And there we go. So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Staying Connected. We're on to episode 25 now. And I've got the pleasure of being joined by Adrian, who is a former colleague and I'll go with friend. So, if you guys are in the chat, just drop us a hello or a thumbs up or whatever. I know Dan's there and Charlotte's there. So, hi guys, how's it going? And Adrian, welcome.
Hi guys, how are you?
So I don't know if you want to just start. I've got a big list of questions as always, and you know me, I'll talk like forever. But obviously, if you just want to do a little introduction to who you are, and what your current role is, and how we know you at Media Savvy.
Yeah. Well, I studied at the University of Sunderland, and that's when I met. That's when I came across Media Savvy. Currently, I work at the University of Westminster in London as a senior social media executive, and I think Media Savvy was the company that kind of paved my way into the social media industry. But we can kind of talk about that a little bit later, I think.
Yeah. Cool. 2 seconds. Anthony's just put in the chat that the audio is a bit crackly, so I'm just going to unplug my mic and plug it back in. Give us a second. I'll give that a go. Let's see if that's any better. Let me know, Anthony, if that's any better. It might just be that was a little bit too loud, so I'll shift it back a touch. Very professional streaming service, as you can see here, Addy. It's going real well. So yeah, you were saying obviously you came across the Media Savvy after studying at uni. What is it that you studied at uni?
I studied media culture and communications at uni, and to be honest, I didn't quite know what my career is going to look like. I wasn't quite sure because it's such a broad course. I wasn't sure where my career is going to go, but there was a mentoring scheme open at the university, and that's when I applied, and Dan was my mentor, and that's when I met him first.
So sorry about that as well.
I feel a bit sad about that as well.
Tease.
But moving forward from that, I think he introduced me to kind of the world of content and the world of video editing, and he introduced me to what they do at Media Savvy and suggested to do one of his courses, even though my course at university had nothing to do with courses in kind of visual branding. I decided just to see what it's like to work with creative software, so the Adobe Creative Suite. And that's when I realized that I'm really passionate about this, and Dan decided to kind of introduce me to the wider team, Media Savvy.
Yeah.
And then kind of I took on a role as a very junior social media assistant where we worked on building the social media Savvy accounts.
Yeah.
From ground up.
So where did you start with that then? And how did you find it?
Well, in the beginning, I first had to kind of understand what the business is, or what the main idea of their offering is, and it's obviously helping people. So, and kind of helping them grow through creative arts. And the first thing I think I identified is that these people working on Photoshop and different kind of creative software. So we created this Instagram account, which mainly aimed to kind of support the ambition and motivation for these people in the courses. So the main idea of this Instagram account was to help learners to get inspired, and to kind of show them that there's nothing they can do. So everything is learned through kind of process, and you need experience, and you need to be persistent in order to kind of succeed in what you're trying to achieve. And it's same with content production, I guess.
Yeah. So just a shout out, if you're not following the Instagram, follow the Instagram. We're currently, you managed to get us, I mean, what we at, 1,433 followers at the minute, and there's a bunch of like you're saying, inspirational artwork on there, which will especially work with the likes of I don't know if you obviously you have seen a few of them. There's been like we've been doing the Photo P stuff. Ella did a course and Daniel did a course on it as well. So that's some great inspiration on there. And we do post quite regularly so the sort of different ideas and different perspectives on the creative stuff.
I think it'll be also worth following the artists that are featured in the hardware, because some of the art is really inspirational.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff on there, and it is worth a follow. And if you do follow it and you see something you like, or you want to recommend something, drop us a message on there, or something like that, or on Facebook as always. I've had a few of you guys send some stuff in for the shows, like the Staying Connected one, so thanks for that. I know Lynn sent me an article that I'm going to have a look at today, but we'll save that for later on. So. How easy did you find it to sort of fit in? Because obviously you, just as a bit of background for you guys, Adrian was there a little bit before me. I think like a year or two maybe before I was there.
It was before you, yeah. It was before you.
So how did you find that coming in from not having a creative background to dropping into being a bit more creative?
Well, beginning it was I don't know. I'm trying to find the right word. It was a little bit of a shock.
A culture shock coming into the office.
Yeah, well, the first thing is because I'm not obviously from the UK and I have an accent, and this is my first role, so I was a bit worried about my accent. Then I met kind of the wider team, and I kind of identified that, well, they're okay, you know, with everything. They're super laid back.
Yeah. No one there is normal, is what I would say.
Yeah,
but
I think mento is the right word to describe it. Especially the guy who runs the part.
Yeah, I think the less he's going wild in the chat at the moment. He's just saying that you're the guru of social media, and you're making some vague Bulgarian sounds. Also, I think that was when you were a bit quiet, but I've turned the volume up for now. But yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how you would describe. I would say chaotic. Yeah. Would you say was the atmosphere?
Yeah, it was chaotic, but it was really fun. It was really fun to work with Lisa. I think Leon was at the time in the office quite a lot. And Dan.
Captain Chaos.
Yeah, it was really interesting. And to be honest, I struggled with the software in the beginning. And it was really hard for me to kind of catch up because everyone else had experience. You know, Dan's worked at football club doing video editing. Lisa had a degree in illustration and all of these creative stuff. And I was a bit like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I just had to go. And obviously in the beginning, my work was awful. It was just not to the required standard. But then they were very patient with me, I guess.
Yeah.
And they helped me get the basics, which is the most important thing. And then you just learn as you go, I guess. As your career progresses further.
Yeah, definitely. Dan's just saying. Obviously, you mentioned the football club there. You used to be a professional footballer as well, which is amazing.
I think that's.
Would you care to comment on that or not?
I think we could do a whole different stream about that and explain
your footballing career and how you
my football career
so close. We'll save it for another time then.
I think we should save it for another time.
Just to know you were up there though. That's the important information.
Yeah.
A very talented Bulgarian footballer.
Yeah, and I've played with Dan, and I think he was never meant to be a footballer.
I
think he was meant to be. I don't know. He's much better at watching films or something like that.
Watching and commenting on films than playing football. It's alright at grown hair though. I mean,
and especially very old horror films that no one else watches.
obscure horror films.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a little background into the obviously your role with Media Savvy, and what you did when you first got out of university. So where did you go on to after that? After you, obviously you moved away from Sunderland, and what was next in the chapter?
Yeah, I mean, if it was up to me, I'd stay there because I really like the company, your company, guys, and it was really nice to have really close friends there. But my girlfriend got a job in Surrey, so we had to move away.
Yeah.
And I started applying for jobs in London, in central London, and I think I got 2 interviews on the same day, I remember.
Yeah.
One was with an events company called Leaders in Sport. and the other one was a financial company based in Mayfair. And
Very posh.
I went for the first interview with leaders in sports, and they used to work with companies like Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and organize events and work with the managers there. So it's really interesting. I was really kind of excited. I went for the interview, and the person who interviewed me forgot that there was an interview. So she came drunk from a lunch. She was quite drunk.
Jeez.
And
that's how you do it in big business, though, isn't it? You like drink at dinner time, and you do what you want.
You just wing it, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I was very disappointed, and then I went to this company that I didn't expect anything from that company, from that financial company partnership. Didn't expect anything. They worked in the wealth management area. I went, and I then realized that the company are trying to work with a lot of kind of popular and famous individuals, a lot of startups, companies like Google and Facebook. And that was really exciting. They were trying to kind of, they were trying to just do a lot of different interview pieces and a lot of pop-up events with these individuals. And this is what really intrigued me. And at the end of the day, they actually offered me the job, which was really exciting, and I accepted it.
Yeah.
Fast forward to kind of today, during my time at that company, I found the freelance position at ESPN, the sports TV channel.
Yeah.
And where I worked as a social media producer. So I was producing content for most of their digital social media channels, social platforms. So they have they have more than 6 million followers. And I covered events such as the World Cup and the Premier League season last year. It was a very fast-paced role. It was very challenging, but it was really, really interesting.
I can imagine. So were you working with like a content team with that then to get stuff out there, or were you doing a lot of it off of your own back?
Yeah, I did that alongside my job at that financial company. So I was working usually weekends and whenever there's capacity. I think there were a few social media producers every time at shift. There will be a morning shift, normal 9 to 5 shift, and there will be an evening shift. But depending if there's Champions League final, for example, then all of the journalists, everyone will be in the office, and obviously some people will be at the stadiums, and they'll be reporting back to us.
Yeah.
The most interesting part when covering Premier League football was that we were all on the same line, and we had one TV and one computer monitor, and we would watch football, and we would prepare content for the social media platforms, create graphics and stuff.
Yeah.
And usually, after you finish the football game, after the game's finished, I usually didn't recollect of what the score was, even if it's my favorite team playing. It was so stressful that you just have to get
Which is Man United, by the way. Can we just get that out there?
Yeah.
That nobody should condone supporting Manchester United, because that's just not
the best football club in the world.
Yikes.
It's definitely not Arsenal.
Well, I mean, we can agree on that, I suppose. But yeah, so you'd forget the score when you were watching along.
Because it's so fast paced, and you have to create the graphics and sometimes you would make a mistake.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you make a mistake, then there's like, I don't know, 100 or 200 comments.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing, even if you just misspelled Modric's name, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I remember I did that, and then my manager was like, "That's wrong, delete it straight away." And then it's been screenshot, and people are saying, "Aha, you've just misspelled it." I'm like, okay, no big deal.
I'm a human being. I can make a mistake. Yeah. The internet's a funny place for things like that. There's no mercy at all.
Yeah, it's definitely been the most interesting job role that I've ever undertaken. It was really, really good. And the best part of one of the good parts of it, it was based at Disney's headquarters in London. So we had ABC News there, we had ESPN obviously, and then the whole Disney kind of work environment headquarters there with the cinema. So that was
right. Pretty hell, that is cool. So were you doing? That's like a whole new level of having to create like bits of artwork. Well, not artwork, but graphics and stuff.
Yeah.
You have to do it on the fly. So you're doing it sort of as it happens.
Yeah. What probably Lisa and Ella, if they're listening now, they would say, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
it's not, because when you're a designer, you would pick up on every single thing. And when we work in social media and produce content in a fast-paced environment, you have a design team which designs templates,
Yeah.
and then you have different photo manipulations and graphics that you create on the fly or you pre-prepare. So it's they would say, oh, this is not on brand, this is not. But actually, those companies, they would say, it's fine because it's a bit more relaxed. Yeah. So I would definitely steer away from me.
It doesn't take much. Yeah, it doesn't take much to upset like designers, does it? Because I don't know. I'm not in the category of like, if something's slightly off, I'm not going to pick up on it. Yeah. Whereas loads of people are, they're like, that's wrong. I'm like, okay.
I think if you work for a brand that's like Media Savvy or a brand like my current brand, the university, it needs to be consistent, needs to be on brand because it's not a news channel.
Yeah.
But with ESPN being a news channel, there was a lot more flexibility in terms of content creation. So I'd say I'm a bit more of a content creator rather than being on the scale designer, because Lisa will kill me.
Yeah, that's it too. I mean, to be fair, I run everything by Lisa or Ella before I do anything, because I'm like, does this look right? Exactly. I need you to look at this because it's not right. Because I don't have the eye for design like those guys do.
And obviously, when you create content, we had quite a lot of times, oh, this looks off. And obviously, if it's off, it's off. But if it's a little bit off, it's fine. Yeah.
Especially if you've done it if you have to do it in, like, say you have to get a video out on social media in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is.
I hope no one will see this. One from the ESPN team will see this. Because, I mean, what I would say now is that there was no pre-production process of the graphics. So if we expect Ronaldo to reach 300 goals or England to reach the semi-finals with Croatia in the World Cup, there wouldn't be a pre-produced graphics and specific channels, and that's why you would end up creating something on the fly, and you have half an hour to create something.
Yeah, it's like
good.
So did you guys ever do any like highlight packages, or was it just sort of clips like that you would pick out?
Usually, well, whenever I was managing the YouTube channel, I would go to the AP website, so the Associated Press website, where they publish all media content before it goes to different media outlets.
Yeah.
And you would usually create the thumbnails for that. You would edit different videos together to kind of, you would cut different interview pieces. So Mourinho would talk for an hour, and then you would have to cut it into a minute to make it a little bit more social media friendly and stuff like that.
Or sometimes he just wouldn't speak at all. He'd be like, well, I prefer not to speak. So there's also when he does that, which is nice and easy because that's like a 10-second clip.
Yeah, but usually we would focus on the controversial content.
Yeah.
And what from the wider and teams in the US were told is don't focus on content that, for example, don't cover Newcastle and Norwich playing unless there's something that's interesting that's happened there.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You focus on the big things that would generate a lot of engagement.
You want traffic, don't you? That's what it's all about.
If you have obviously the Tyne-and-White derby, Sunderland Newcastle, then it will be different and it will be covered because something interesting will happen.
Definitely.
If not on the pitch.
So something will happen. Inside or outside the ground, there'll be something happening.
Exactly.
But no, that's really cool. So obviously, what sort of things are you doing now in your current role would be the next question. And just quickly before you answer that, Charlotte, I have seen your question, but I've got it on the list of questions, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. So yeah, just what you're doing in your current role.
Yeah. Currently, I work as a senior social media executive at the University of Westminster in London, and I took the decision to leave ESPN simply because there wasn't more kind of strategic thinking involvement, and I wasn't the one thinking about campaign management and kind of paving the way of all the content that goes out, kind of the process behind that. I was responsible solely for the pushing the content out. And I came across opportunity which now allows me to do that at the University of Westminster. So
you're like the big boss now of the content.
Absolutely not.
So what sort of stuff do you do in that role then at the minute? So you say
I lead on the university's social media strategy. I work with creative agencies kind of create advertising campaigns which are mostly focused on most tailored towards social media use. So we would create different campaigns for different audience. So it will be for undergraduate or postgraduate students. I'm also working with the content production process, setting content pillars, and kind of work with a video editor in-house for us to keep our channels always busy and kind of be on brand and kind of abide towards our key content pillars that we have. We also manage our online social media community. We get a lot of requests from all over the world. So we have one software that manages everything across social media, and we use that to kind of collaborate with different team members. So but I think in a nutshell, paid social, so advertising on social media and organic channel management are my main kind of responsibilities.
So you mentioned something there that I sort of think I know what it means, but I'm not sure. So if you could explain. So you said content pillars. What do we mean by that?
So I guess if you have a brand, let's say we have the university, we have different audiences that appeal to us. So we have students, current students, we have alumni, and we have academic staff. So these are our three main content. These are our main audiences. So we need to create different content for these pieces because different content appeals. Reflectively, we would need the different channels appeal to these audience. So for example, for student life and for alumni, it'll be more appropriate to kind of use TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, or Facebook. And for alumni as well as academic stuff, it will be more Twitter and LinkedIn. So what we do is we have all of these audiences set up on top, and then underneath that you have the content pillar. So you have, so what we currently working on is, it's called University of Westminster Originals, and we work with an agency that will help us do that. So we try to create stories about our current student. So we would have one student on the one side of kind of a studio, and then an alumni study the same and ask them the same questions, see how they reply. So this is one content pillar which could appeal to those two audiences. Another one is our academics usually share a lot of research stories and articles, topical stories on a website called The Conversation. And what we do is we go on these articles and we use a strategy commonly used by companies like The Economist, Forbes, The Times, Financial Times. What they do is they have a news article published on their website, and they publish it on social media as an article link. But then what they do is they create a video story out of it. And I'm sure I've talked to you guys a lot about this, and I think this is something you guys can use. And what we do is we create a video story out of it using stock footage, subtitles, and a mixture of that. And I think one of our last stories was really interesting. It was about why one of our cognitive news scientists wrote an article about why memory and why when we clap for the NHS on Thursday is so important to us and why we get excited about that. And she explained it in a really kind of scientific, in a really interesting way. And what we did is we created a video from it, and it received very well on LinkedIn, for example. So, but I think that kind of points out the expertise of the university and the academics that kind of are the most important part of the university.
In terms of like what content's going to them directly as well. So is that obviously that's quite an extensive process, as in there's a lot of work goes into figuring that out. If we dial it back a little bit, basically, because I know Charlotte was asking, and it's one of the questions I sort of sent you over. If you are looking to improve,
I haven't seen it. Sorry.
If you're looking to improve things like engagement on, say, even if it's like a small business or like a little brand that you develop, and if you're looking to drive engagement, you would recommend looking at utilizing things like video stories and pushing out as much like more interactive content as possible. Would you say? I
mean, not necessary. It really depends on the content and what the company is.
Okay.
But I think the most important part is to understand what you're trying to achieve and who your audience is. And once you get that, I think I think it becomes pretty easy to kind of find different narratives and different content to tap into.
Yeah.
So if you work in media savvy, and for example, if you look simply from a learner perspective, having top of my head, having monthly events. Obviously, we are now in pandemic, but talking when things get back to normal, having monthly events with people who work in the creative industry, live talks for those people to talk to them.
Yeah.
That is already a whole different level of engagement with these people. And you, to the learners, you kind of present them with an opportunity to kind of talk to people who are actually working in different creative industries. And then you would obviously promote this through social media.
Yeah.
And you could create different, because Facebook and Instagram's advertising tools are so powerful, and you can target almost anyone. So if you're in the Sunderland area, you can target people who are within the Sunderland area with particular interests. And those people could be kind of used to invited to the talks. So that could bring in more learners, for example, to Media Savvy, and at the same time allow the current learners to learn from creative individuals. Not from creative individuals, from people who work in the creative industry. So,
So I think Charlotte is specifically looking to promote like artwork under a brand on like a branded page on Instagram at the minute. So would your recommendation be to make sure that the content she is sharing as well as the people she's following are like relevant to that industry, basically, I think is the question.
I think focusing on diversifying the content a little bit and collaborating with different artists could help her kind of. So she could have her artwork posted once a week, or you can post your out. Speaking first person, you could have your content posted once a week on your personal channel, your personal artwork. Then you can find different artists, share their work. They can share your work, and then their kind of followers would be able to see your work. So and that's how you would build these relationships and kind of grow organically. But also another thing is to go on different artist channels and comment and get in touch, even people who you don't know, even people who you think that might be out of your reach. So people who have millions or thousands of followers, just try and talk to them, ask for feedback on social media, because most of them will reply. Maybe the ones who have millions of followers might not see your message, but the ones that are smaller will definitely be happy probably to provide feedback and then ultimately promote your artwork on their feeds, which in terms will bring your kind of content to their audiences.
Yeah, so using it like an actual sort of network, really, like you would in person, except you're just doing it online.
Because it's also very powerful to use hashtags, but I believe that the human relationship, the relationship between different humans on those channels is more important and actually could bring a lot bigger success and faster. Hashtags are good, but you have to use a mix of hashtags. So you have to use very popular hashtags within your team. Then hashtags that are not that popular. So hashtags in the 7 or 8, 10,000 mentions. So the main idea is if someone's mentioned the hashtag 10,000 times, you're a lot more likely to end up on the top of the feed, and those people exploring that hashtag would be able to see you a lot. And if you have millions of mentions on a particular hashtags, then it's unlikely that you'll be on the top. So therefore, you won't get much engagement from that.
Yeah, unless you're one of like the top sort of creators, or then you're going to struggle.
Unless you're very popular.
No, that makes sense. So hopefully, Charlotte, that's a little bit helpful. If not, just pop another question in the chat for now. I'm just going to quickly catch up with that. So we've got Lynn's recommending some stuff, and I think we're going to focus on that on Wednesday's show. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Dan's asking, have you ever heard about the Lego Businessman? Question mark.
No.
And no. I think that's something to do with the lack of haircuts going on in the old lockdown. I don't think I've seen your hair that long for a while, actually. Lynn is saying about the text and images, and what annoys the most is when somebody has not realised you can't actually read the text on a very dark background. So that must be due. I mean, I know you used to go on about quite a lot the text to image ratio that you used to tell us about on social.
What do you mean? Sorry. I didn't
So
get
like
that.
the text to like background image ratio, so where you can't, either there's too much text and it's like taking over the image, or there's not enough and you can't even read it. Like when
In a graphic, yeah.
Yeah. So in your graphics.
I mean, text image ratio is a bit of a problem when it comes to advertising. If it's organically, I think it works quite well. But the content needs to be readable.
Yeah.
So if you go to big brands like let's continue the sport team, Bleacher Report are kind of one of the best examples of doing social media.
Yeah.
So if you go to their Twitter, you will see their graphics. Everything they do is just incredibly creative.
I'll quickly load that up. Actually, hang on, give us a second.
And when they're actually doing text graphics, sometimes they have long sentences, but it's put out in a way that's social media friendly. So when you open the graphic on your phone, you can easily read it.
Yeah. So
and I
there's
guess
one there with a quote on it. I'll just open that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like the way the text laid out is completely separate to the image in this one. So that there you can see fully readable. So these are the type of things that you might want to consider if you're making graphics, like you say, and then obviously, especially thinking about how it's going to be viewed on a phone, perhaps.
Yeah, I think always think about a phone first, mobile first, and social first approach. Or they're usually the first things we consider when we start working on a new strategy or on a new content pillar or new campaign.
Yeah. So, because I mean, I don't know about. I'm just coming from a sort of web perspective. Majority of users to websites now are going to be from a mobile device, and I assume it's a lot, or if not the same, it's similar to the social media platforms. So especially things like Instagram, I think they've got a desktop site, but you can't really even do much apart from look at the images and like and comment. You can't upload anything. So I think it's very important to think about your mobile environment. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it really depends on the business. So for example, for the university, what we found out is that a lot of people will go to our website and for social media channels to explore courses or to kind of see what's around for lectures, stuff like this. But when they actually decide to apply or to apply for a short course and need to do a hard conversion, so pay a lot of money, they would do it on their desktops.
Okay.
So that's a
consideration. So I suppose, but I think if specifically, I'm just thinking again for Charlotte, if she's sharing stuff, bear in mind how it's going to look on a mobile as well. Because I
think that's the most important.
Yeah, a lot of our drawings are very, very detailed, so it might be even a case where she can do some detailed breakdown, zooming right in to show like the level of detail, using like the gallery feature and stuff would be quite cool, I think.
Consider. I think another example is a company called The Future. If you find out on Instagram, it's one of the best examples of how to drive engagement. So they use carousels to tell stories.
Okay.
Another.
What was that one called? Sorry, the Future.
The Future without an E at the end.
Okay.
One of the best designers in the world, one of the best graphic designers in the world. It's called Chris Do. So if you follow him on Instagram, Chris Do. So that's CHRISDO. He has a lot of kind of educational content on how to create engagement on social media and how to kind of be effective with graphics, different carousels. So I think looking at his examples and the way he uses colors, the way he uses typography, the way he uses color, it's just incredible. So if you look at that and kind of turn your stories into something similar, I guarantee you that you'll get a lot more engagement.
So how am I spelling that? So CHRIS.
Yep, and then
DO. I can't quite see it, but hang on, there's a hashtag there. That must be some of his stuff.
Let me try and find him.
I think that'd be really good for some of the guys to have a look through. I know some people are interested in. We've had a few people on who've done bits and pieces of graphics as well. So this might be quite a cool one for them to check out. If
Did you find him?
Find it. No. If you can find it and send me the link to his Instagram in the Zoom chat, I'll pop it in.
Yeah.
I'll stick it in the description of the video as well, so it's on there for anyone watching back later on. That's definitely one to check out for you guys. So I guess, I mean, that's a lot of the work related stuff covered. I take you guys have been all right working from home and stuff, given the nature of what you do.
Yeah. Just give me a second. I just found it.
Okay.
And
cool.
I'll reply to it. Sorry.
Right.
It's the Chris though. So the Chris though.
The
If you find
Crystal.
It's got 300,000 followers.
Ah, yeah, got him.
And also the future has a lot of kind of courses, a lot of creative content course. So it has the basics of typography, colors. So
yeah, so you can see there he's got his gallery set up like 7 ways to craft better headlines, explore color combos, but he spelled color the American way, which is a bit annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, brand strategy, that sort of thing. This looks like a really useful sort of profile to have a little look through. So stick that in the chat now. So that's in there if anyone wants to do that, and I'll stick it in the description, like I say, for anyone watching back. And there's someone opening the door that might have come to see you here. Oh, it's just Lisa. Thank you. I've got a green tea. Result, health is wealth. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan, I got your text.
I know about it.
Yeah. Gone a little crackly again. That'll be me mic screeching. 2 seconds. Okay. Right, I'll stick that in the description. So yeah, how are you guys managing with obviously the pandemic and stuff?
Yeah.
How have you managed work-wise? That is.
I think for me personally, it's been much better because I don't get the noise at the office.
Okay.
And I can get a lot of work done. Sometimes I stay late, but I actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
And when I'm in the office, it's quite loud. And because we're like 60 or 70 people in the office, and it just can get quite
stressful,
quite annoying. Not stressful, it's just annoying.
Yeah. You feel like you're a bit distracted and stuff.
Yeah, you just can't focus on one thing, and I've been able to do quite a lot of work this past 3 or 4 weeks.
I mean, to be honest, you should be used to it because we worked in that room in St. Peter's Gate for like how long?
Yeah.
It was like the size of a shoebox. So I'm surprised you're not like adapted a bit better.
I used to love that. I used to love that place. It was cool.
Yeah, you haven't been in the new office yet, have you?
No.
No, you have to come up once everything's back to normal.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully soon. In terms of online working, we use something. Well, I'm sure you've heard of it. It's called Microsoft Teams.
Yes, Adrian, we have heard of Microsoft Teams. It's like the biggest one.
I said I'm sure you've heard of it. It's the accent kicked in. So we kind of collaborate on all campaigns. We have different channels there, and we kind of work on all different campaigns. Have meetings. It works a little bit like Zoom, I guess.
Unplugging me.
What else? We also use Google Drive to save all our kind of work video content, and we have an image library for everything, so it's quite easy to collaborate with colleagues.
Okay.
What else do we use?
Some stuff and things and all that kind of stuff.
I think Microsoft Teams has been the main change since we've been in lockdown. That has helped us to kind of keep in touch with different colleagues and collaborate in different teams.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys haven't like struggled too much in terms of like being able to just do your job and crack on.
No,
which is good. I think you're probably uniquely placed in terms of like the way the industry you're in, because I mean, even like firms like Twitter, I don't know if you saw, but they basically said everyone can just work from home for like the next 2 years, and it won't really affect us. I
mean, for the past 6 months, I was working from home at least 1 day a week.
Yeah.
Because I live in Surrey next to Guildford, so I have to
Very
travel
posh,
an
by the
hour.
way.
An hour. Oh yeah, it's so posh. You can see my one bed flat.
It's a nice flat though.
It's all right. So what was I saying? Yeah, I have to travel. I usually travel from Walking Station here in Surrey to Waterloo in London, and then I cycle to Oxford Circus, and that was every single day. And I was losing an hour and a half
Yeah.
one way every time, so it was just a bit of a waste of time. So I spoke to my manager, and we agreed that I can put that time into work.
Yeah.
And the Southwestern trains are just disgusting, and they're always late.
Disgusting and
Dan-
late. That's not what you want.
I think Dan has experienced it as well when he came to visit.
Yeah, real travel in this country is not the best. I don't think it matters where you go. It's not ideal.
Yeah.
It's expensive as well. It's like real expensive.
Yeah. So for me, it's been really good that we work from home.
Yeah.
It's been very productive,
Mm.
and I don't have to deal with a lot of things that I usually deal with work.
Yeah.
That they're usually wasting a lot of time and are not efficient.
Yeah.
and
So
are
you've
not
been
useful.
just being able to focus and sort of get on with it. Back to being a high flyer, as we know you are.
Very. Absolutely not.
So I mean, just on the sort of along the lines of what Charlotte and the guys were saying about different like things to consider, is there any like obviously you've mentioned the guy on Instagram, Chris Thor. Is there any other, or are there any other resources that you've come across to help people out?
Yeah, Christo in the future are quite good from a graphic design point of view.
Yeah.
But from a social media perspective, I think the websites that I look at quite regularly are Social Media Today, and they're really useful from a trends point of view. So you can see what's trending, you can see what new features are coming out on social media platforms, and they have really interesting and kind of easy to understand infographics.
Yeah.
From an insightful point of view, and very, very kind of, if you want to learn the basics of social media and how to proceed, I don't think that's the place, because they're more focused on trends. They will have some training here and there, but it won't be as useful, I guess, because they stay quite basic.
Yeah.
The Buffer blog is another one that I read regularly, and that's a bit more insightful.
Okay. Is it just buffer.com?
Just Google Buffer blog and should pop up.
Usually,
Buffer is a social media management platform. I guess it's mainly tailored towards small businesses.
Okay.
So if you're a small business and you want to kind of you're looking for an easy to use social media tool, but I think Buffer is a cost-effective platform. It's also free.
Yeah.
Another thing I just remember, Charlotte just Google Planoly. It's an Instagram tool. It has a free version where you can see your Instagram grid prior to uploading stuff. So you can schedule directly your posts from there rather than doing it from Instagram. You can schedule 5 or 10 posts in advance. So I think that's a good way of starting.
And what's that one called? Because we got the accent kicked in a little bit there.
Yeah, it's Planoly.
Okay.
Planoly. Yeah.
Planoly. Let's have a look. How do I spell it?
Plonally.
Just trying to find the right one. I don't want to send the wrong link. I might wait and put this one in after because I'm not sure if that's the right link.
It has a beige color branding.
Planoly.
That's what we use at the university to manage our
simplifying social marketing. Easy plan and schedule your content for Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. Is that the one?
That's it. Yeah. But it's mainly tailored towards Instagram, so we don't use it for anything else.
Okay, but they've got an app as well, so they've got mobile apps that you can download.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You do the main scheduling from the platform, and if you, for example, have a carousel to publish, you have to do it manually. So it comes to your phone and you just click a few buttons and it goes out.
Cool.
It's quite easy.
Yeah, sounds good. I know Charlotte's quite interested in using Pinterest as well, so that might be quite a good one for you to have a little look at.
I haven't had much experience with Pinterest, but I
me neither.
Yeah.
It's good for the type of thing that Charlotte's looking to do though, with artwork and any kind of hand drawn and it's like stuff that you make. It's very good for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
on the buffer block point of view, there's another website called Skillshare.
Yeah, of course.
There's a lot of courses on there, and most of them are not good, but the ones from Buffer are really good and insightful.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of courses online, and usually you end up paying quite a small fee for something that's not going to help you.
Yeah.
But I think the Buffer ones, and another one is to look out for is Viner Media. It's Gary, and I can't pronounce his surname. Gary Vaynerchuk, is it?
Oh God, if you don't know, I don't know.
He's quite famous. He's not on the social media. He's got loads of. When you try and find him.
If don't worry about it now. If you find it, just send it across after, and I'll drop all the links that I've put in the chat in the description of the video. Because we'll probably end up using little snippets of this when we're doing if we do any advice on social media. Like people looking to do it from a more corporate sort of perspective, rather than just this is Facebook and this is Twitter.
But I think Gary is one of the people to follow on social media because he is really good with branding strategy.
Yeah.
And then I'll drop you a link after so you can share it.
No, it's really cool.
And then his courses on Skillshare are also good, so check that out.
Yeah, so have you used Skillshare much then? Because I've never actually used it yet, but I know a few people who have and said it's like, I think that everyone's of the same opinion. That's a bit hitty-missy.
Yeah, I guess if you know where to look, it's okay. I think that's the from a low cost perspective, that's probably the best one to look.
Yeah,
I think it's better than LinkedIn Learning and
not fun.
Is it Udemy?
Udemy. LinkedIn Learning's just like one of the most complicated processes I've ever been through to try and learn how to do anything.
They're quite outdated and it's just not helpful. But if you're looking for something a little bit more advanced, then the General Assembly, they do quite a lot of digital marketing courses, and that's quite. It will be more expensive, but you will get a lot more out of it, I guess. If you're a small business, then
definitely.
I think it's learning.
Or if your budget's zero, then it's going to be good to get the lowest cost solutions possible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So there you go. There's some advice, some free advice from a social media guru, as we call him.
Don't call me that.
Self-proclaimed, I heard, is what I heard. So just I'm gonna overlay some images that have been sent just to explain to the guys. Obviously, you went on.
I think. Are they gonna put me on the spot, or are they gonna show my holiday photo?
It's not quite a holiday photo, I wouldn't say. It's more a trip that you took. Let's say when it's you and Dan at the top of some kind of mountain, I believe. Hang on.
Yeah.
Is it it's Kilimanjaro, right? So you guys went and did a big old trek, which was completely. Was it related to where? Did you? No, it was just like you just went to do it, didn't you? And you just went.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that?
That was one of the most incredible experiences that I've ever. One of the most amazing trips. It was really nice. Shout out to Mel, who didn't stop moaning all the way to the top.
Okay, that doesn't sound like her. She's normally strong.
But she did really well.
Yeah.
And knowing what I know now, I messaged Dan a few days ago. She was really poorly.
Yeah.
But we all made it to the second peak of the mountain. It was just amazing.
I think you guys all got a bit sick, right, with the old altitude sickness.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a headache. My partner, Bridget, she was completely out. So she had to go down. We were at 5,000 plus meters altitude, and she started hallucinating, and that was really dangerous at that time. So we took the decision for her to go down.
Yeah.
And I continued towards the top, and at that stage, Dan and Mel the three of us kind of went to that summit together.
Yeah, it's it's definitely something I did. Dan asked us, and I was like, nah. Just straight up, I was like, no. I haven't got the mental toughness to do it. I don't think. I think I'd get to the top and start feeling awful, and then be like, nah, I need to stop this.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that. It was just that we on the summit day. What kind of made a difference was that we should have started an hour early, and then we would have been able to go to the top, not to the second peak.
Yeah.
Which was actually just half an hour walk from where we were, but we missed our turnaround time, so we had to just go back.
Yeah, and just to embarrass you a little bit more, I've got a picture from the old Shine. I think this was the second one. You're showing, I think it's the mayor at the time, something on your phone.
All right.
And then the other one, I referenced you as a high flyer before. Just this is my favorite picture of Adrian that's ever been taken.
Why am I not seeing anything?
Where he got accused of being a Turkish sailor. So you guys can take what you want from that photo. I'll just zoom in a little bit. There he is. What a handsome chap. That was your staff picture on the website for about 8 months. And I don't think you found out until it had been on for about 6.
Yeah, I think
so. Yeah, that's the type of stuff that was happening in the office when you first joined. It was.
Well, I didn't get that. Say again.
That was the type of atmosphere you came into, wasn't it? When you joined the office, you realised quite early on that you were just going to get the mick taken out of you, very very early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's alright though, because I take a piss out of them all the time.
Yeah. It happens. It happens quite often.
Yeah.
But I mean, how are you at the minute? Because obviously I didn't want to dwell on it for too long, but we know you've been ill with the old virus.
With the old virus,
yeah.
That's why it's so old that doctors don't know what to tell me.
Because I mean, you had it when it first came, when it first got announced what it was and how many people were being affected by it. That was around the time you got it, right?
I think it was 1 week before lockdown, before Boris decided that it was time to lock the country down. And if you want to watch, just as a side note, a plug, watch Dispatches on Channel 4.
Okay.
It reviews how the government handled the coronavirus pandemic, and it was trending on Twitter it's been trending on Twitter for past few days. And obviously, I feel quite strong about it because I had the virus quite badly, and I had to go to A&E 3 times. I wasn't admitted to hospital, but it's been one of the worst things I've ever experienced in my life, and it was really scary. Especially, I've been struggling with my breathing for the past 10 weeks, and I'm still not well. My heart rate is really high. My breathing is not back to normal, and it's just that no one knows.
They can't tell you why, right? that's the most sort of concerning thing is they don't know why.
Yeah, because usually when people deteriorate from the virus, usually happens in the beginning of when they've contracted the virus. So in the first 10-15 days, you would start struggling to breathe, and then either you would get better or you would just rapidly go downhill. And at my worst, my oxygen levels were still good. Yeah. Which was confusing because I was struggling to breathe. I couldn't go to the bathroom. When the ambulance came in, they said, "Oh, you look fine. all of your vitals.
Wow.
All of your vitals are fine. Your oxygen levels, your heart rate, everything's perfectly normal. Your heart's fine."
Yeah.
My partner's been telling me, "You look fine. You don't look bad," but I felt terrible.
Yeah.
And when they started listening to my chest, they started hearing that my lungs were really quiet. So they sent me straight away to the hospital, and obviously my X-ray came out clear, which was so weird. And I guess no one knows.
Yeah.
What.
So it's not it's not even cut and dry with your symptoms and stuff, because obviously your main symptom was probably just shortness of breath, but nothing else, and just you generally felt awful.
In the beginning, if the advice from the government was different, I probably would not have been that bad, because they said that you have to have a cough and temperature, and I didn't have those things, and I haven't had much of a cough. I had temperature in week 3 or 4 just for a few days, and that was mainly because I was taking antibiotics. But if I knew that shortness of breath, I would have hold on my exercising, because I was running a lot then. And even though I didn't feel quite okay in the first 2 weeks, I still continued running, and I suspect that made it a lot worse
Yeah.
than it would have been.
That's what you get for trying to be so strong and so butch. That's what happens.
Yeah. So I guess my main takeaway is that if you feel unwell and you have weird symptoms like shortness of breath, or you even have your eyes are burning, or your feet
Loss
become
of taste and smell as well, right? That's the other one.
Yeah, taste and smell. It's just different weird things that can happen. So that could be also the virus. So
yeah.
But yeah.
So I mean, the government guideline is stay alert, but I think, try and look after yourself is the other thing as well, especially if you're not feeling well.
I mean, I can talk for hours about it because I've read so much.
Yeah, so you clued up now.
Yeah, better not go into it. But I guess my takeaway from this thing is that it's not for people who have underlying conditions. It's not for people who are in the older age groups. It's for everyone, because I used to exercise a lot prior to this, and it just got it so bad. So yeah, just
to take it easy is what you said.
Just don't go to crowds and don't mix with people and stuff like that.
Yeah, it can have some adverse consequences even on someone like fit and healthy and strong.
Yeah,
definitely.
Even something as important as George Floyd and the protests that are happening in London, I see all of these people together, and I'm like, this is definitely going to have an impact on the infection.
Oh, for sure. I think I did see some photos from one in London where they deliberately spaced themselves out. I can't remember where it was. It was a park. I can't remember where. But they made sure.
Yeah.
Was it the Hyde Park one? I thought so.
I think it was.
Where they sort of took that into consideration, which was good. But you see some, especially in America at the minute, not to open the can of worms of talking about that, but like it seems like it seems like everyone's forgotten about it completely. To be honest,
it seems it's like a film.
Yeah,
I just can't believe what's happening around.
Yeah, I mean the world is you would be forgiven for thinking it's falling a bit, which is coming apart at the seams, but we'll get there. We'll get through it, I'm sure.
Yeah, hopefully.
So guys, we're just about out of time. What I'm going to do, as always, and I'm not going to play the survey alarm because it's like 4 million decibels and Adrian needs his rest. But I'm going to post a link to the survey in the chat, so if you guys can fill that in. As always, the feedback's great. Let us know what you think of the stream. I've got. I'll just quickly catch up with this chat, mate.
Sorry for interrupting. If you have social media specific questions, I'm happy to kind of answer them.
Spot on. So Charlotte's just saying she's going out for walks lately. As people are not social distance, it's really annoying going on so many walks now. Yes, it's tough to avoid like crowds and stuff. Lynn's just saying about the Tom Mouse Smith first album released today, which is a local lad on Bandcamp and Spotify. So we will cover that. We'll pick that up in one of the Staying Connected streams next week, and we'll probably play it. So we can have a listen to that. And
definitely send me a link.
Yeah, we will do. So that'll be cool to listen to. So yeah, guys, if you can fill that survey in, and like Adrian says, drop him an email. If anyone wants to get in touch with Adrian, just drop us a message on the Facebook page or via email, and we'll put you in touch.
Yeah, I'll just drop my email in the comment section if there's someone's have a questions about social.
Yeah,
I'll be happy to answer.
Cool, appreciate that, man. And thanks for coming along today. And helping us out. Thank you. And it's good to speak to you again.
It's nice to see you. Say hi to the boat.
The boat, yeah. What's his name again? The little fellow with the big ears. I can't remember.
Can't remember. It's the one who has his head is brighter than my future.
That's the one. Yeah.
Kid like that.
Yeah. Thanks anyway, guys. And cheers, Adrian. I'll speak to you soon, man. And guys, we'll see you again on Monday. I'm going to leave the screen on with all the information on, like the useful links. I'll leave that on for a few minutes while this stream ends, and have a good weekend. Stay savvy.
Bye, guys.
Stay safe.
See ya. Bye.
Ta-da.